was this tea?
Well, I could say something. So, a bit of context first. I woke up at 7 o'clock with the alarm from a very deep sleep. So I was a bit groggy when I got to drinking the tea. And I was trying to, this is kind of a dilemma really. I'm trying to think the tea rather than let the tea just affect me. So I came to the conclusion that I think you called it an old friend. If you didn't, that's what it felt like. I was just sitting with an old friend, and it was a bit like neither exciting nor boring. It was just like being with an old friend where you just could be relaxed and happy and so on. And this just basically went on all the way through the tea. At once, I forgot that I put the water in the pot, so it was rather long steeping. And even then, it kind of was just, it wasn't bitter as it would usually be, but it was stronger. And I just kept feeling like it was supporting me somehow all the way through it. And then my meditation went into some kind of a very deep, interesting reflection. Almost like a bit of a shamanic journey, I suppose. I read recently, I think it's a Sufi saying, I'm learning to love, but if I could love with the, I'm learning to love, I want to learn to love the passion I have for loving learning. I'm wanting to learn to love with the passion I have for loving learning. And I realize that most of my life I love learning new things usually. And I kind of just had this feeling that there was a rose. I suppose if I lived in the East, it would be a lotus, but a rose in my heart that wanted to open. And, how do you learn to open a rose in your heart? So I thought I'd just drink tea. So I sat, very happily. Every time my mind started thinking about it, it was just like, don't really understand. And but don't try to understand. Just allow the lotus or the rose to open. I think rose is because I'm English, and roses are very common in England, and I see them every day in the summer. But it was this sense of a tightness in my heart that I think I'm quite a kind, caring person, but I don't know if I really know what love is. I mean, I've fallen in love a couple of times in life, but that was sort of almost, it was so kind of chemical in a way, so strong that I don't think it was really what I was getting at in this saying. It's more of a, I suppose it's more like the bodhicitta, Bodhi, loving all beings or something. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. It was a wonderful experience. And I just felt the tea, going back to the tea, was all the time, it was almost telling me just to don't worry about the tea, just sit with the tea, like a good friend.
Mm. Thank you.
Mm.
Mm.
I had this kind of old friend experience too, but my mind was so busy. Stuff happened yesterday, and it felt like I kept on like telling, like I am in front of an old friend, and I keep on telling my bullshit on and on and on and on, and it just sits there, And eventually, towards the end, there were moments where I was a bit quiet, but it was so hard today. I think for the state of mind in which I was at, a stronger tea might have been a bit more supportive for me. But yeah, yeah, so kind of hard. Like I feel really quite, just feel really agitated from when I woke up from yesterday. Really, it's really interesting. I was just drinking it and not even feeling it. And at some point, first infusion a bit light, and then maybe around the third one, I was like, "Oh, this is nice." But then I just went back to thinking about all this bullshit I had in my mind. And towards the end, finally, some like 30 seconds of like, mhm, mm. Yeah, but maybe sometimes you really need to, like, same way in which something has just happened to you, and you just need to go to an old friend and just tell all the bullshit that you have in your mind, and then you told it, and it's gone. So in a sense, I don't feel regret about not having built that still. It's okay. In fact, the fact that I found stillness towards the end was was enough. Mm. I can still, I feel this the flavor quite strong in my mouth, mm, throughout the mouth. Mm, yeah, I guess what I really like about this is how comfortable it is on an empty stomach, and even if you steep it quite strong, is actually it's not really red. It's more like it's gone directly into um, dark orange, leaning into brown. It doesn't have the red brightness to it. Mm. Yeah, and still, it doesn't have any storage flavors. It doesn't have any mustiness. Doesn't have any excessive dump to it. It's yeah, tastes very well, even though it's not the red, but it's already a little bit on the brown. Um, yeah, I guess overall, maybe a tea best enjoyed for when I'm already a bit more still. In this case, it wasn't enjoyable. It was good, but not that enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you. I find this tea quite stable. So the first dip, well, normally I didn't, without the tea, I didn't leave it like quite long. The first cup, I thought like, well, it's okay, it's quite light, and I didn't feel any astringent and bitter. So it's quite mellow and smooth. I was like, okay, maybe I can brew it a bit longer. And then, yeah, the second, third ones, it turned out quite good. Yeah, with the flavor. And I started enjoying it, and yeah, like what you said, like what Sona said, it's neither exciting nor boring. It's like, I think it can be an everyday tea for me, and mm, mm, yeah, comforting and supporting. And I just came back to myself, and it feels like I started a conversation with myself. So I guess myself, the old self, is my old friend. And then yeah, it's like I block everything around me, just like focus on breath, and yeah. And then I had the news this morning because I have been um, guiding a litigation case in favor of my friend, and it's a good karma as well because I didn't charge much, but just like nominated fee, and then I donate this fee to another friend. Yeah, so yeah, she told me it went quite well. Well, it was an arbitration anyway about dispute with her employer. And then, well, actually, the outcome was not that good as I expected, but okay, and she's happy. So I'm like, okay. And then I reflected that, well, if I was there, things would happen differently. So, and then I kind of thought that, wow, I mean, personalities between people are quite different. I mean, our personalities could lead us to do different things, you know, occupations or, yeah. Yeah, that's for me. Thank you.